services associated with such transactions. Our law office has over 50 years of experience in real estate law. We pride ourselves on being cost-effective and having a quick turnaround time. If you're in need of such services, call us today at 365-2763 or find us on the web at www.jeffrussolelaw.com. We are located in downtown Princeton on the east side of the courthouse.
This is an advertisement.
1580 103.3 WPKY Coffee Talk is on the air. Morning conversations about things of interest to you. If you'd like to be a guest on Coffee Talk, just email us your information at WPKYonline@gmail.com. We're proud to call Caldwell County home. WPKY.
Good morning. It is 8:14.
So you're ready to ask the biggest question of your life. The only question before that question. How do you find the perfect ring to ask it with? With the incredible selection of diamonds at Jared and our price match guarantee, you can dare to stop searching and find the perfect diamond at a price you'll love. Visit your local Jared store today and dare to be devoted.
We promise to match any price on a like loose certified diamond of the same quality from any other jewelry retailer. See jared.com/price match for details.
Good morning. It is 8:15. It's about 31, getting a little bit warmer than it was. Hey, look, today is the last day to sign up because it's the starting day for the Couch Potato Challenge. Get up, get moving, start slow. Start with the Caldwell County Extension Office, 270-365-2787. I'm going to do this with you, so let's go. Let's stop feeling like potatoes. Let's stop looking like potatoes, and let's get up and get moving. We're joined this morning on Coffee Talk by Board Chairman of the Country Club, Jeff McDaniels. Good morning, Jeff. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, no problem, Misty. Good to be here.
I appreciate you coming in this morning. So the Country Club, that's, of course, the Princeton Country Club is what we're talking about, correct? Caldwell County, what is it called exactly?
Well, we now go by the Princeton Golf Club.
Oh, the Princeton Golf Club.
That's
okay.
Correct.
All right. Somebody misinformed me then.
Well, the club had been around for many, many years, as most people know, as the Princeton Golf and Country Club, and we went through a restructuring about 18 months ago now, and just decided to go with a different brand, keep the Princeton and the golf in it, but go with that a little shorter for some stuff that we're hoping to do with some branding and some logo stuff. Fitting Princeton Golf and Country Club on stuff is a little bit difficult, and when you put PG and CC on things, when you're out of town, not everyone knows exactly what that is. So we went with Princeton Golf Club because we think we can fit that'll be a better, more usable thing as we get into some of the branding stuff we'd like to do.
Excellent. Okay. Where is the golf club located?
Well, we're on 293 or South Jefferson, whatever you want to call it, just south of town. So if you're at the courthouse, we're about, I would guess, about a mile south down there on the left. So inside the city limits, and I think most people that live here will know where we are. Okay,
Jeff, what is the Princeton Golf Club? I mean, is it strictly for people who want to play golf? Is it what goes on out there?
Well, it is by and large a golf club. We do have a swimming pool. So during the summer months, we do have members that take advantage of that may not play golf but enjoy the pool with their kids or for exercise or whatever that may be. We do have some social activities out there from time to time. In the cool weather months, those are limited to about once a month. We'll have some activity on a Friday night, or if there's some sporting event going on, something like that. In the summer, we try to get a little more frequent with those social functions.
So I've never looked into a country club before or golf club before. I don't play golf. What if I don't play? Okay, if I just want to learn how to play golf, is that something that I can come to the country club for?
Well, we do not have a golf pro. That is something that the club, I think there has been a time or two in its history that there has been a golf pro out there that could give lessons. That has not been the case in recent years, and it is not the case now. We're going to get to our new greenskeeper here, I think, in a little bit, and Lee is a former golf professional, so and an excellent golfer. I've not had a chance to play with Lee yet, but I understand that he's a pretty good player. But back to your question in terms of coming out there and playing, I think one of the golf, just golf in general has had some negative momentum. There's fewer people playing. A lot of people call it the Tiger Woods, that back in the 90s when he became very popular, a lot of people were drawn to the game, I guess just because of his charisma and success and all those things that go along with that. And here in the last decade or so, golf is on a national level has lost some of that momentum. There's fewer courses in the country, and fewer people playing. And I think golf is trying to figure out a way to recreate itself. I've played all my life, so I'm biased towards it. I think it's one of those games that's is really unique. I think it's great for kids. I would encourage people to consider it as a sport for their kids. It's the only sport that you call your own rules, that you call fouls on yourself, so to speak. In all the other sport, if a foul's missed, you sort of raise your hands and go, no, I didn't foul them. But in this sport, you call, it teaches some life lessons that I think are very valuable. Integrity in the game of golf is considered a very high thing, and if there's a rule violation, you're supposed to call that on yourself. And that's one of those lessons that I think that can be taught to kids. And I think one of the other things that gets missed about golf that I wish the golf game itself nationally would do a better job of talking about is it's a sport you can play your whole life. I have an 8-year-old, soon to be 9, who's been playing for a couple of years, and he can go out there with his grandfather, and their age difference is 60+ years, but they can go out there and play together. And there aren't very many sports that last that long. I know there's a few others maybe, but when you get down to it, it is something that if you do develop and your kids play, and in your instance, even if you start playing as an adult, it gives you an opportunity to bridge those generational gaps, and it's something that you can do together. And we'll get to the cost here in a little bit. And I also think golf fights the perception that it was a really expensive sport to play, and at one time it probably was. But now, when you compare it to travel sports and all the money that people are investing in sports, to me, it's probably the most cost-effective sport out there. But again, I've played my entire life, so I'm a little biased towards it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was something that I was just sitting here thinking. I think a lot of people, that is the first thought when you think about golf. Oh, that takes money. I can't get into that. That's a very expensive sport. If I'm a first timer, and let's say me and my friend here just decide we want to go see what it's like to play golf. Can we just walk in and say, hey, I want to play, or do we have to walk in and say, I want to be a member? What do we need to do?
Well, now, golf is a sport that the very early stages of being a beginner, it can be challenging because it is a little different. When you go to the bowling, if you go to the bowling lane, they have the gutters, and there's if you roll a bad ball in bowling, it goes in the gutter and it safely goes down to the end and it comes back.
Well, they also have bumpers.
Yeah, they also have bumpers for the young kids, and golf is not that way. And golf, just it's a pretty amazing sport when you think about it. When you take a golf ball the size of that, and you think that you're playing this hole that's 350 yards, and which is a long way. That's 300. That's three and a half football fields, and the goal is to hit it and get in the hole in four times if it's a par 4, and that can be pretty daunting for beginners because the first time they swing, it might just it might still be sitting on the tee, or it might go 10 yards in front of them, or it might go 10 yards sideways. So someone looking to begin the game, I would encourage them to consider driving ranges and something like that, just to get comfortable with hitting the golf ball first. Because when you get on the course, there's extra anxiety. Number one, when you're at a driving range, you can relax, and if the ball doesn't go where you want it to, first of all, you don't have to go chase it. Second of all, you get to stand in the same spot, and there's nets, and there's all that kind of thing. So I do think it's one of those things. I think one of the new things for if you're ever in larger cities that's come about is that new Top Golf. I don't know if you've seen that. There's a new facility in Nashville, and they've started around some of the larger metropolitan areas with bigger populations. But Top Golf is a very social form of golf. You go and they provide the clubs and the golf ball, so there's no upfront cost on that. It's a restaurant social scene. But you can get up there on how they've got it set up, and you just try to hit at targets from the same spot. So I think if it's someone that's curious about it, I think that's one of those things that would be a good place to go. It's sort of a driving range where you add the social aspects to it, where you get to hit golf balls, but you also have your friends there. It's set up, each section where you set up is set up like an outdoor patio, so it's really cool. So anybody that's an adult that's thinking about golf, I think that probably be the thing I'd say. I'd say, hey, go find one of those Top Golf. Go down there a few times and see if you sort of can catch the interest in playing the game.
Okay, so you don't have driving ranges then at the country club?
Well, we do have a driving range, but it's not. It's bring your own golf balls and retrieve your own golf balls. So no, we do not have one of the driving ranges to where you can just get a bucket of balls, go out and hit 50 balls and leave them out there and someone else pick them up for you. We don't have that at this point. We don't really, from a land, from our property limitations out there, we don't have a great place to do that. Now our members do have a practice area that they use, but when they do that, they're bringing their own golf balls and they're picking them up and so forth and so on. So that is one of the disadvantages. We wish we had a little more property to do that, but we just don't. Inside the city limits with residential areas all the way around us, we're pretty landlocked. That's not a good option for us.
Okay, so let's talk about. We've established that you pretty much have to know what you're doing to
a little bit
to come in, or at least have an idea and have a start. So, what is the cost? If I'm there, I'm ready. I've already got the bug and it bit me, and we're going to go ahead and sign up.
It varies. It depends on what you're looking for. We've been running promotional rates to try to attract new members over the last couple of years, and have had some success with that. I believe the number last year was, I think we grew 37 members across the different membership types. But the main full golf, and here's where we'll get to the cost. The main full golf for someone that lives inside the Caldwell County limits is $150. That's the dues. There's an extra thing called a trail fee, and if you have a golf cart and you want to store that, there's an extra fee for those things. But basically $150 plus tax to be a member. But that can be for one person, two person, or the entire family. And that's a one-time fee per month. Whereas if you go play golf somewhere, you're probably going to pay in this area $30 or $40 just for the first time. If you have kids that are interested in the game, there's not many things that you can pay that one-time fee for and go pay. If you live outside the county limits, that same promotional thing is $100. So pretty affordable if you get down to it. When it comes to if you live in Lyon County or in northern Trigg County or wherever you might live and have an interest in the game, pretty cost effective there. We do have some other membership types that don't pertain to golf. I mentioned the swimming pool. We do have a social membership that's basically $50 a month that gives access to everything other than golf. You get access to the swimming pool, those kind of things. We also have with the facility, it's a nice walk in the park, so to speak, that is well maintained for the golf purposes. But we also have what we call a neighborhood membership, and it's more targeted towards those that live near the golf course that sort of want to use it like a park. Now there are a little bit of restrictions on that. We ask that you have to be very respectful of golfers for a couple of reasons. Number one, that golf ball's hard. You don't want to get hit with a golf ball and then they're out there playing. But for early mornings and late evening walks and those kind of things, it's one of the best places in town to do that. So we do have some members that are just simply what we call neighborhood members who use it as a access point. Since it's a private club, we do that. And I think there's also some that's close enough to the club that knew we were going through some financial difficulties a couple of years ago, and from property value aspects and all those things, wanted to see the club try to stay as viable as it could for as long as it could. So we've had some members that want to that live nearby that would prefer it to stay an ongoing golf course as it is today than to see it become something else. So that's something we've made some progress on over the last couple of years and pretty proud of.
All right, good. It sounds like it's gone from, we kind of maybe not, but then it's starting to grow, and so we're going to see some improvements there, huh?
Well, I think so. I think with golf, it's the upfront costs that I think people have to come to grips with. It's that first purchase of that set of clubs and that to get you started, because unlike some other sports, there is some upfront cost. But I say that playing golf used to be. I can remember when I was a kid that investing in clubs for a kid or whoever you may be was a pretty big investment. But now seeing travel sports and seeing what aluminum the new softball and baseball bats cost, and then all the other gear cost that surround some other sports, and seeing all the athletic bags that all the travel teams carry and all the new uniform combinations that all the kids are wearing these days, that $150 per month doesn't seem quite as expensive as maybe as it once did. And you can probably, I know my son, he's at that age that he grows 3 inches a year. So keeping him in the right clubs that are his right length, we end up investing in 2 or 3 clubs each year. And this is probably going to be the year I get him his first full set all at one time. But I'll probably be able to do that for less than a couple $100. Now, again, that goes back. I know some of these baseball and softball bats cost $250 just for that. So getting a kid started in the game really isn't that much more cost impactful than the other sports. So
let's talk about, you mentioned you have a new greenskeeper this year. Let's talk a little bit about that.
We do. Lee Childress started with us back in mid-December, so he's only been with us about 60 days. He came to us from the Metropolis Country Club in southern Illinois. He actually resides in Calvert City, so he had some interest in us for a couple of reasons. One of those being that his drive is basically the same. When you live in Calvert City, the drive to Metropolis is essentially the same as the drive to Princeton. Just depends on whether you want to go north or south. So our club was attracted to him from that aspect. And second of all, we put in a new Vinnie Murdy Bermuda greens, and not to get, I guess that was probably too technical for the listener out there, but we put in warm weather greens, and what that means is the grass that we have on our greens now is more equipped that when it gets hot and dry in the summer, as long as we can keep water on the greens, the grass loves it. Whereas our former kind of grass on the greens hated summertime, and we would fight the whole golf season to try to keep the greens alive. We no longer do that. Now this is the most, the winter is the more difficult time with the greens now because it's warm weather grass. So we actually have them covered right now. We own 19 covers. So all the greens plus the putting surface right now are under covers right now. Those will probably be coming off here. They've been off some during the winter. We do have play during the winter, and that's a great thing about the new warm weather grasses is that in the past warm weather grasses you strawed them. So once you put straw on them, there was no play on the regular greens from the time you put the straw on until you burn the straw off in the spring. The good thing with the covers now is if you do have a couple of weeks stretch during the winter, we can just roll the covers back and just roll them and leave them out. We don't store them in the winter. We leave them on the course, but we'll roll them to the back of the green and we can have play during the winter. But back to that with Lee, I think he's very attracted to the fact that with these new greens, he had been the pro at Metropolis for 10 plus years, and they have what we'll call the cooler weather grass, bent grass, and he had done a great job keeping their course in good condition, better than most courses around that have had that kind of grass for a number of years. So big compliment to him. But he'd be the first to tell you that requires hand watering in the summer, a lot of extra long hours there late in the evenings in those hot months just to keep water on those things to keep them alive. So I think one of the things that he was attracted to us was with the Bermuda greens, he can leave again. He has 2 young children that play soccer, and our greens now in the summer with the sprinkler system, as long as they have water, they'll be fine because they're Bermuda grass. So it's the kind of grass if you go deep south in the country, it's the kind of grass that just that grows there. So we don't have to worry about it getting too hot. That's no longer a concern. So his summers now he can come here and spend more of a normal work day. Whereas I think at Metropolis he was really fighting that long day, 7 days a week, being away from his family. So I think that was one of the things that attracted him to us. Any golfers out there, whether you're members at our club or not, that have played at Metropolis will know how good a job he had done there keeping their course in good condition. So we feel very fortunate to have Lee. Like I said, he's just been with us 60 days now, and we're very impressed with Lee and excited to have him.
Sounds like he's got about, and again, this is coming from someone who knows nothing about golf, but it sounds like he's got about the most important job there, because if you don't have a good ground to play on, you're not going to be able to play, right?
Yeah, no question. And for not knowing much about golf, you hit the nail on the head very quickly there. A couple years ago, I referenced some challenges that we were having both with our greens and with our level of membership, and we made the decision that we have to improve the consistency of this course to get more people out here. We have to do that, and so we made that decision in 2017 to put in the new greens. And the focus was very much that if you can have, golf, there are tees where you start the hole, and then there are fairways where you're supposed to try to hit it. I don't hit those very much. So there's different kinds of grass as you play a hole. But the greens are the most important. If your greens are in reasonably good to good shape, your members, when your members are complaining about some other things because your greens are really good, you'd probably rather be in that scenario than having bad greens. And I say that sarcastically. Our members have been very positive since we switched over these greens. It's been a good experience for everybody. But that is the key. If you can keep those greens in good putting condition, because that's where the ball's on the ground the whole time when you putt. Whether even if you've just played miniature golf or something like that, that's where the ball's on the ground. If it's bumpy or there's spots like that and it starts bumping left or right, people that play golf don't. That's not something that they enjoy. They want that ball to roll about as smooth as they can. So that is something that we focused on, and knock on wood, that strategy has worked. We had a slow start last year. A lot of the courses with the Bermuda greens did. Because of how the winter was. Now, we've been pretty thankful this winter. We think that, knock on wood again, that barring any late winter frigid temperatures that we might have, we've had a lot of moisture, as everybody knows, and we feel pretty good right now that we're going to come out with a good start to the 2019 golf season.
Well, our weather forecaster, David, have mercy, my mind is gone, Powell, he said that we're not done yet. He said that there is a chance that we can still expect it. I try not to talk to him too much. So we'll just go with spring is around the corner. Because Punxsutawney Phil told us spring is on the way.
That's right. We weren't supposed to. Was it 6 weeks? I forget how many more weeks.
Right. Well, he said that it's done. He said, 6 weeks of spring, I think. We're supposed to get early. I don't know how that works. But anyway, yeah. He said it's supposed to be on its way.
Well, we need warm nights for the greens our fairways and our greens are all Bermuda and their tee boxes as well. So warm nights is the key to us. So you can even have a mild winter, and you need some of those warmer spring nights to start the grass to really start growing. But some of the damage we had last year, we felt like was from really some late season, really cold weather that we had with some high winds that dried the greens out and caused some problems there. And knock on wood, we had a couple of really cold nights this winter, but that's really the extent of it. For the most part, it's in a lot of courses a little south of us. If it gets in the high 20s, they don't even cover these greens. So it's those really cold temperatures that are a risk to this type of grass.
Gotcha. Well, Jeff, is there anything else you want to talk to us about the country club?
Well, I guess just in general, for anybody out there listening that has
the golf club. I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. Hey, we will go by. We don't, like I said, that change was more to try to shorten it for some other reasons. But we're definitely good being called the Princeton Golf and Country Club, Princeton Golf Club, or whatever. That's not real. We're not real particular about that. We just invite anybody that plays golf or is thinking about playing golf to come out there. It's one of those things that. I think once you're out there and you experience and enjoy it, the sort of the laid-back attitude in terms of how golf goes. Right now, with our level of membership, we don't do tee times. We've never done tee. I've been a member out there since 1995. So it's the kind of place you can come out and play 6 holes in the evening if you want to. You can play 3 holes. You can come out and do that. It's pretty laid back, and as compared to some other places. One thing I did want to mention that I almost forgot. Now this is a small investment on our part. But for someone that doesn't own a golf cart, we've not had our own stock of golf carts. All our members have their own carts, but we are purchasing 4 rental carts that we should be getting probably this week. That'll be available for the golf season. So whether if you're someone that's thinking about being a member and didn't want to invest in a golf cart, at least want to come out for this summer and give it a shot without the investment in a golf cart, we're going to have 4 rental carts out there. To have those available. We're trying to work out some things with some of the marinas as well, and that's part of a reason for us doing this is some of the visitors that come into the area that trying to work some relationship with some of the seasonal tourist places that if some of their visitors want to come play golf, or we can work some things out. So we're going to start small. We're going to start with those 4 golf carts and go from there. So we hope that's another enticement. We hope that goes from 4 to 6 to 8 over the next few years in terms of having those golf carts. And you can always walk. There's Dennis joined us out here in the last year and a half or 2 years, something like that, I forget. And he'd always been a walker. Now, I think we've impacted him. I don't know if he's listening this morning, but I think we've impacted him because I've not seen him walk near as much as he used to because most of the rest of us ride. But he has a pull cart, and he'll come out there, and especially if it's late in the afternoon after work or something like that, you'll see him out there just walking, pulling his clubs behind him. So it's great exercise from that aspect too. So you don't have to have a golf cart to play golf, but most of our members tend to prefer to have a golf cart.
Well, that brings me to one more question. How big is the course?
How big is it? Oh, I'm supposed to know that question. I think the property is somewhere around 125 acres total. I've heard different people say that if you came out and walked 9 holes or 18 holes, how far you would walk. There's one thing about that. First of all, it depends on how straight you hit it. You know, if you hit it straight, you walk a lot less than if you hit it like me, because then you have to take a lot of left and right turns and spend some time looking for your golf ball. But other than that, it's probably, I would guess, it's probably a 2-mile walk if you played 9 holes, something like that. 1.5 2-mile walk. If you came out there and just walked the course, that's probably the most that it is. But when you play, you don't end up going in straight lines as much as you'd like. But it's good for that. And like I said, our course has cart paths, and a lot of the folks that come out there for exercise, we'll see some bikes out there in the late evenings or early mornings where people are riding bikes around the cart paths, and some runners and some walkers. So it works well for that aspect.
All right, Jeff, I appreciate your time. Jeff McDaniels, board chair for the Princeton Golf Club. Give them a call at.
You're gonna catch me there. I think the number is 365-6110. But I call our manager's cell number. But if you have any interest in that, you can reach out to me. Or Fred Fotes, who is at the Woodall Agency, is over our membership committee. He's the one that handles new applications for things like that, so you can reach him as well. So he's at the Woodall Agency. If you'd like to give him a call, or if you have his email address or anything like that, or you can reach out to me, or basically any member. There's an incentive for our members to refer new members. So if you know somebody that's a member and you're thinking about it, if they've been a member out there for a number of years, they probably have an incentive to refer you, because that helps them lower their cost as well. So.
All right. Thank you so much, Jeff. I appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
So you're ready to ask the biggest question of your life, the only question before that question. How do you find the perfect ring to ask it with? With the incredible selection of diamonds at Jared and our price match guarantee, you can dare to stop searching and find the perfect diamond at a price you'll love. Visit your local Jared store today and dare to be devoted.
We promise to match any price on a like loose certified diamond of the same quality from any other jewelry retailer. See jared.com/price match for details.
Lowe's knows you'll do it right and do it yourself to update your kitchen to something more your taste. We do it right too by offering up to 40% off select kitchen faucets during our Refresh for Less kitchen and bath event, so you get what you want and stay within budget. Finish off your refresh with new paint and save with Valspar 2000 interior paint starting at just $19.98 a gallon. Whatever your next project, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Faucet offer valid through 2/20. Exclusions apply. See store for details. U.S. only.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
We're going to see just a little bit of sunshine today with a high of 39.